Hello guys, Merry Christmas, and this is a collab video about the games I played the most this generation. I couldn't think of the best games. I've already talked about games I thought are pretty much my favorite, but I really haven't done games I've played the most of. Here's the first game I played the most of. This Battlefield Bad Company 2. I bought this game twice. I sold it once, but I really wanted to play again, so I bought it again. This is actually a really interesting game. The story is actually really good for a modern shooter. The only good modern shooter stories I've actually played, well, actually can think of are probably Call of Duty 4. Modern Warfare 3's campaign was pretty interesting. And this game and Medal of Honor, the new one. A lot of first-person shooter stories aren't really that interesting. You really don't care about what happens. This one, I played the first one, and a lot of people got this one because it was a competitor to Modern Warfare 2. I personally bought this one because I played the first one. I thought the first one was amazing. Though I didn't buy it for the multiplayer at all, because I didn't care much for the first one's multiplayer. But I played this game, and then I beat it, and I was really surprised. It was all very different. The first level was actually starts in World War II, and then it moves. The second level is modern day. The story is kind of interesting. There's a lot of spoilers, so I'm not going to say anything. Then there's the multiplayer. The multiplayer is fantastic. It's really different from Call of Duty's. The Battlefield multiplayer is extremely unique compared to a lot of other things. And then there's an Onslaught mode, which you can buy separately. And there's also a Vietnam multiplayer maps and gameplay. You can buy that separately too. There's a lot of stuff in this game. The Onslaught mode, which is kind of like Firefight, except it's an objective-based firefight. Enemies keep coming until you get these objectives, and they're pretty challenging to say the least. But this game is extremely good. If you haven't played it, I highly suggest you check it out. It's really different though. Next game, I don't think I've ever talked about this game at all in any of my videos, which is weird because I played the crap out of this game, and that is Red Dead Redemption. Now, this is the Game of the Year edition. It comes with the regular game, and it comes with the Undead Nightmare. I'm still playing the Undead Nightmare, and I'm going to say this game has a lot of play value in it. There's missions you can complete. There's an online free roaming. There's a whole bunch of DLC. There's over 95 achievements in this game. I don't think I've seen a game with more achievements. And the Undead Nightmare so far is really interesting. It says it's a 5-hour campaign just to beat the game, beat the Undead Nightmare. But I've already put about 8 or 9 hours into it. But I'm doing side missions too. It's a very interesting game. But I'm usually not into the games like this. I really don't care much about the Grand Theft Auto games. But I did like this game and Saints Row too. This is a very good game, to say the very least. I can understand why I got Game of the Year. It didn't get my pick though, but very good game. I highly suggest anyone who hasn't played this game should. It's not as amazing as some people say it is, but I can see why so many people love this game. So much different stuff to do. This is another game I don't think I've talked about at all in any of my videos, and that's Fallout 3. I've played this. I'm still playing this game. I put over 50-60 hours in this game. I have all but 2 of the DLCs. I've only beat 1 of them, and I'm playing through 2 of them right now. This is a very lengthy game. A lot of people say it has been taken up to 100, or some people have gone even over that to play it and completely beat it. But this is a game that you earn your levels. You work, and then you level up. There's not a lot of levels. I think there's only 30 if you get all the deals. If you get one of the DLCs, it's only 20 in the main game, but raises it to 30. But this game is really good. I highly suggest you check it out. It's a very, very different kind of first-person shooter. You're not really supposed to aim, more as you hit. Basically, you there's this thing where you can pause time, select which body parts you want to shoot, and then you select which body parts you want to shoot, where on which person, and then you hit the A button and you shoot all the parts pretty quickly. It's very interesting and very different. I didn't like Fallout New Vegas nearly as much. Actually, I didn't care much for that game at all. It just didn't feel the same. But this game is definitely worth checking out. You'll be playing this game like crazy. The next game is a game I've been talking about. I talk about all the time in all my videos. That's Halo Reach. I've put over about 150 hours in this game already. It's only been out a year. The I'm not really big on many multiplayers, but this multiplayer is an exception. This is probably one of the best multiplayers out there. Very, very intense. There's a wide variety of different multiplayers you can play. You can play custom games. You can make your own maps. There's just endless possibilities what you can do in this game. Everyone pretty much heard of Halo Reach. Halo Anniversary isn't out yet, but I imagine, well, the multiplayer on that's the same as Reach, but I imagine it's going to be just as fantastic it's just as fantastic as the first one. This one's campaign I really enjoyed. I think it's probably the best campaign. Well, at least the most emotional campaign. Though I prefer the first one better, but it's still an extremely good game, and anyone who hasn't played it really should play it. It's only on 360. I could have swore I heard 343 saying that they were going to eventually put it on the PC. I don't know if I misheard them or what, but for now it's only on the 360. The visuals are really good. They're not nearly as good as some other games like Battlefield 3 or I don't know, Medal of Honor or whatever game, Skyrim, that just came out. But this is still a very, very good game. Now this is a game you probably can imagine what it is. This is probably the #1 game I've played the most of. I've had this game on 3 different systems. 2 of the systems I sold it for. I'm going to get it on a 4th system, believe it or not. I haven't yet, but that's the Force Unleashed. This is the Ultimate Sith Edition. The interesting thing about this game, I almost always play it during the holidays. It just, for some weird reason, the Hoth levels kind of remind me of the holidays. Maybe it's the snow, but this game is just probably tied as my favorite game of all time, next to Halo 1, and what other game? Star Trek Elite Force. Those are all probably my favorite games, but this one, the second one's really, really good, yet this one just, the DLC seemed a little bit longer, yet the second one's, the only DLC that it had was really, really good, so. But the Hoth DLC on this one's probably probably my favorite DLC ever on any game. Even though it doesn't have any achievements, I play it like crazy. The Tatooine DLC is pretty good. Actually, believe it or not, the Jedi Temple one I really don't like. It just didn't really interest me much at all. But I put so much time in this game. In total, I probably put over maybe 200 hours playing this one on all the versions that I've had on DS, on Wii, 360. I'm getting on PS2. This game is just amazing. I love this game. I can continue to play it. The second one I'm playing a lot as well. Though the second one I probably only put about 50 hours into. I've heard like rumors out the wazoo, different places, of a third one coming out next year. I hope that's true, and I've also heard that it's going to be quite a very long game from different places. which that's a lot of things that people didn't like much about the second one. It's too short. But the DLC, I think, on the second one, which was only $1, I thought that added quite a bit to the game. Not a whole lot, but it added quite a bit. So there you go, guys. Those are the top 5 games I played the most of this generation. They're really, really good games. They all deserve all the praise they get. A lot of them, though, like the Force Unleashed and Bad Company 2, they do get those games get bashed a little bit by people sometimes, which I don't think they deserve that. All these games are really good. All of them are rated M except for Force Unleashed 2. I just noticed that, but they're all really good games. The 3 of them got Game of the Year awards, so, and they're definitely worth playing and playing and playing. I've played these games like crazy. I'm going to continue to play all these games. And thank you for watching, and have a nice Christmas.
This game is awesome. I can't truly determine how this game compares to the older Afterburner games, but it appears to be very faithful. It's a short, intense arcade-style flight shooter, and even though I beat it and got all of the achievements, I am still going back for more. I have it on the PlayStation 3 through PlayStation Network, but I originally played it in the arcade, and I'm quite certain it's on Xbox Live Arcade as well. It's a great game that most retro gamers will like. To be honest, I think Nintendo really started to lose their touch this gen. Despite this, I have to say that the original Mario Galaxy definitely deserves a place on this list. Quite frankly, this is definitely one of my favorite Mario games. For me, it's right up there with Mario World. I don't really feel the need to elaborate on why I like this game so much. It has fun gameplay, it looks great, it shockingly has some of the best orchestral music I've heard in a game, it doesn't overdo the motion controls, the hub world is nice, blah 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 blah, you get it. Okay, I freaking love Contra. And we were lucky enough to have 3 Contra games this generation. Contra 4 for the DS, Contra Rebirth for the Wii, and Hard Corps Uprising for Xbox Live Arcade and PlayStation Network. All these games are great. So if I had to pick one out of the 3, my choice would definitely be Contra 4. This game really captured Contra's intensity well, along with providing a whole bunch of crazy ideas throughout the duration of the game, and that really helps give it that arcade feeling. Plus, you can unlock the original Contra and Super C, so if you want to take those classics on the go, well, here's one way to do it. Now, when it comes to 2D side-scrollers, my favorite series isn't Mario, it isn't Contra, and it isn't Mega Man, Castlevania, or Metroid. It's Turrican. A series that took elements from several games, many of which I just mentioned, and combined them all into one with adding its own awesome elements. So I had no choice but to put Turrican on this list. This game basically revamped what made the Turrican game so good. Huge levels, great graphics, awesome music, incredible bosses, and the list goes on. But the best part is that this game is free. It's definitely worth downloading, especially if you're a fan of the original series. Now, in order to determine what my favorite game of this generation was, I'm going to leave you with this question. What is the only game series I like more than Turrican? If you've watched a single one of my videos, you'd probably be able to guess that it's the Star Wars Rogue Squadron series. Now, what would happen if Factor 5 made another game in the Rogue Squadron style, but without the Star Wars license? Lair for the PlayStation 3. Never in my life have I seen a game get so much hate and deserve so little of it. If you like the Rogue Squadron games, then chances are you'll like this. Of course, since you are on a dragon, there are quite a few differences, but you'd be surprised to see how much they've kept intact, though some things they've changed I feel for the better. For example, instead of the command cross, you motivate your troops by performing certain actions. Say your troops are getting pinned down by enemy forces. Then if you fly down and annihilate the front lines or kill a strong enemy like a Dark Dragon or a War Beast, your troops will become more motivated and put up a stronger fight. Not to mention, you have a lot more freedom with your objectives than you do in the other Rogue Squadron games. There are certain objectives that you do not have to complete. There are missions where you are assigned an overall objective, but you have several different ways of completing it. Then there are missions where you are put in an intense situation and you have to prioritize between your objectives in order to complete the level. The Rogue Squadron games in general are known among fans for being very immersive. Well, this game really makes you feel like you're part of a huge battle and have a strong amount of control over what's going on. Though this isn't a perfect game by any means, no game is really, this is the game that has the strongest appeal to me. Therefore, it is my favorite game of this generation.